Today is October 1st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are going to continue our journey through Chapter 6 in action. We'll be reading page 79. Out of the 12 and 12, we're almost done with Step 11. We'll be reading page 105. And of course, we'll read today's daily reflection and 24 hours a day. So with that, my friends, golly, it's October 1st already. We've only got about 3 more months of this show, one day at a time. So it's really just hard to believe that 10 months have gone by and now it's autumn. Leaves are changing here in Tennessee. It's just an exciting time. Oh, and hockey season is right around the corner. I know I've mentioned that a few times. I'm a hockey nut. Of course, college football just a few weeks ago. It's exciting times, always a good time. But any day we're alive is an exciting time because there's always an opportunity to change for the better, and there's hope. So with that, my friends, let's get to the good stuff. All right, so if you recall from yesterday's reading out of the Big Book, we were at a point where we're talking about making some restitution here, whether we owe money, whether we've created or committed a criminal offense, which might land us in jail. What do we do in a scenario like this? So we're going to continue on page 79. Although these reparations take innumerable forms, there are some general principles which we find guiding. Reminding ourselves that we have decided to go to any lengths to find a spiritual experience, we ask that we be given strength and direction to do the right thing, no matter what the personal consequences may be. We may lose our position or reputation or face jail, but we're willing. We have to be. We must not shrink at anything. Usually, however, other people are involved. Therefore, we are not to be the hasty and foolish martyr who would needlessly sacrifice others to save himself from the alcoholic pit. A man we know had remarried. Because of resentment and drinking, he'd not paid alimony to his first wife. She was furious. She went to the court and got an order for his arrest. He had commenced our way of life, had secured a position, and was getting his head above water. It would have been impressive heroics if he had walked up to the judge and said, "Here I am." We thought he ought to be willing to do that if necessary, but if he were in jail, he could provide nothing for either family. We suggested he write his first wife admitting his faults and asking forgiveness. He did, and also sent a small amount of money. He told her what he would try to do in the future. He said he was perfectly willing to go to jail if she insisted. Of course, she did not, and the whole situation has long since been adjusted. Out of the 12 and 12 we're on Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And one of the last paragraphs we read yesterday, we discover that we do receive guidance for our lives to just about the extent that we stop making demands upon God to give it to us on order and on our terms. And talking about asking for God's will to be done in our lives, not our own. So we left off right in the middle of a paragraph on 105, where we'll be reading the entire page. He will also report that out of every season of grief or suffering, when the hand of God seemed heavy or even unjust, new lessons for living were learned. New resources of courage were uncovered. And that finally, inescapably, the conviction came that God does move in a mysterious way, His wonders to perform. All this should be very encouraging news for those who recoil from prayer because they don't believe in it, or because they feel themselves cut off from God's help and direction. All of us, without exception, pass through times when we can pray only with the greatest exertion of will. Occasionally, we go even further than this. We are seized with a rebellion so sickening that we simply won't pray. When these things happen, we should not think too ill of ourselves. We should simply resume prayer as soon as we can, doing what we know to be good for us. Perhaps one of the greatest rewards of meditation and prayer is the sense of belonging that comes to us. We no longer live in a completely hostile world. We are no longer lost and frightened and purposeless. The moment we catch even a glimpse of God's will, the moment we begin to see the truth, justice, and love as the real and eternal things in life, we are no longer deeply disturbed by all the seeming evidence to the contrary that surrounds us in purely human affairs. We know that God lovingly watches over us. We know that when we turn to Him, all will be well with us, here and hereafter. All right, my friends, so I'm switching things up here. I'm going to go ahead and read the 24 hours a day instead of the daily reflection first. Why? I don't know. It's October 1st, and I'm just going to change it up. But this is the 24 hours a day edition, October 1st. AA thought for the day. AA will lose some of its effectiveness if I do not do my own share. Where am I failing? Are there some things I do not feel like doing? Am I held back by self-consciousness or fear? Self-consciousness is a form of pride. It is a fear that something may happen to you. What happens to you is not very important. The impression you make on others does not depend so much on the kind of job that you do as your sincerity and honesty of purpose. Am I holding back because I am afraid of not making a good impression? Meditation for the day. Look to God for the true power that will make you effective. See no other wholly dependable supply of strength. That is the secret of any truly effective life. And you, in your turn, will be used to help many others find effectiveness. Whatever spiritual help that you need, whatever spiritual help that you desire for others, look to God. Seek that God's will be done in your life, and seek that your will conforms to His. Failures come from depending too much on your own strength. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may feel that nothing good is too much for me if I look to God for help. I pray that I may be effective through His guidance. Daily Reflection, October 1st. Lest we become complacent. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do. For alcohol is a subtle foe. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 85. When I'm in pain, it is easy to stay close to the friends that I have found in the program. Relief from that pain is provided in the solutions contained in AA's 12 steps. But when I am feeling good and things are going well, I can become complacent. To put it simply, I become lazy and turn into the problem instead of the solution. I need to get into action, to take stock. Where am I, and where am I going? A daily inventory will tell me what I must change to regain spiritual balance. Admitting what I find within myself, to God and to other human beings, keeps me honest and humble. Okay, my friends, that concludes today's reading. Wow, some great stuff as always. Love this last line, or love this last reading. Admitting what I find within myself, to God and to another human being, keeps me honest and humble. I'll be as honest as I can be with you all. I'm a morning person. I don't know if you can tell. It's like 3 a.m. right now. I've got a cup of coffee in me. I got a smile on my face. Feel good. I'm not so sharp at night, though. I don't consistently review my day and take stock of the things that went on throughout the day. I used to be better at it, honestly. I used to journal at night, And I kind of got away from that this year. So I'd like to come back to that a little bit. I do pray with my family, but I think I could do more about reviewing my day and not just reviewing it with red ink. Talk about the good things throughout the day. As a matter of fact, one thing that we did do, my family and I, is we would talk about the rose of the day, the one good thing that happened throughout the day that we'd like to thank our higher power for. And once again, we kind of got away from that too. We still pray every night, but I think I'd like to bring that back, and this reading was a great reminder of that. And actually, a little earlier in the same reading, it says, when I'm feeling good and things are going well, I can become complacent. To put it simply, I become lazy and turn into the problem instead of the solution. I've been there. I certainly have been there. Complacency is a killer sometimes. Without really noticing it, I let go of some habits because I feel like maybe I don't need them, or I'm just too busy and I'm not even thinking of them. And the rose of the day, that's one of them. But reading these books every single day reminds me to keep working at it. And just like another big book that I read, I guess they call it the big book, every time I read it, it's like I remind myself, oh yeah, that's what this is about. That's what I should try to apply in my life. Or, oh wow, I never saw that before. I've read this so many times and I get something different out of it every time. But the following line here in this reading, I need to get into action. Best way to conquer complacency for me is action. Okay, hey, things are going well. I'm still going to read the big book. I'm still going to read the 12 and 12, the 24 hours a day, daily reflections. I'm still going to pray, look for the rose of the day, take inventory honestly. I'm still going to do these things that the 12 steps teach me to do. No matter what, on good days or bad, just takes action to stay sharp and to stay humble. So I'm really thankful for today's reading, and all of it was good. I could talk about the other ones ad infinitum, but I don't think I will. I don't think you want to hear that. But anyways, my friends, I hope you all have a great day today. As always, please know I don't speak on behalf of AA or NA or Al-Anon or any other sect denomination. I'm just a drunk, grateful to be here today, and hoping and praying that maybe I'll hear from you all. If you'd like to share your experience, strength, and hope, our email is bigbookdaily@gmail.com. I would be happy to share your email on the show if you'd like and preserve your anonymity, or if you just want to send me an email and tell me your story. Oh man, it's always so uplifting. Any comments on YouTube or anything like that, I just love hearing from you all and hopefully building a little community through this humble podcast. It is such a blessing to know that I'm not alone, and you guys have made that known lately, and I really appreciate it. So keep those emails coming, and if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.